This is one of my all-time favorite stories. It's called The Man in the Flying Armchair. Larry Walters, the man, is among the relatively few who have turned their dreams into reality. His story is true, even though you may find it hard to believe. Larry was a truck driver, but his lifelong dream was to fly. When he graduated from high school, he joined the Air Force in hopes of becoming a pilot. Unfortunately, poor eyesight disqualified him from that. So when he finally left the service, he had to satisfy himself with watching others fly their fighter jets that crisscrossed the skies over his backyard in Los Angeles. As he sat there in his lawn chair, he dreamed about the magic of flying. Then one day, Larry got a great idea. He went down to the local Army Navy surplus store and bought a tank of helium and 45 weather balloons. These were not your brightly colored party balloons. These were heavy-duty spheres measuring more than 4 feet across when fully inflated. Back in his yard, Larry used straps to attach the balloons to his lawn chair, the kind you may have in your own backyard. He anchored the chair to the bumper of his Jeep and inflated the balloons with helium. Then he packed some sandwiches and drinks and unloaded the BB gun, figuring he could pop a few of the balloons when it was necessary to return to Earth. His preparations complete, Larry sat in a chair and cut the anchoring cord. His plan was to lazily float up a ways and then lazily come back to terra firma. But things didn't quite work out that way. When Larry cut the cord, he didn't float up lazily. He shot up into the air as if fired out of a cannon. Nor did he go a couple 100 feet. He climbed and climbed until he finally leveled off at 11,000 feet. At that height, he could hardly risk deflating any of the balloons lest he unbalanced the load and really experience flying. So he stayed up there, sailing around for 14 hours, totally at a loss as to how to get back down. Eventually, Larry drifted into the approach corridor for Los Angeles International Airport, where a Pan Am pilot radioed the tower about passing a guy in a lawn chair at 11,000 feet with a gun in his lap. Now there's a conversation I would have liked to have heard. Now LAX is right on the ocean, and as you may know, at nightfall the wind on the coast begins to change, so at dusk Larry began drifting out to sea. Not good. At that point, the Navy dispatched a helicopter to rescue him. But the helicopter team had a hard time getting to him because the draft from their propeller kept pushing his homemade contraption farther and farther away. But finally, they were able to hover over him and drop a rescue line with which they hauled him back to Earth. As soon as Larry hit the ground, of course, he was arrested. But as he was being led away in handcuffs, a television reporter called out to ask, "Mr. Walters, why did you do it?" Larry stopped, turned, eyed the man for a moment, and replied nonchalantly, "A man can't just sit around." Now let me ask you a question. Do you have any unmet lifelong dreams? What are you longing to do? Why not pursue them? Surely there's something that you can do, some action you can take to go after your dreams instead of just longing for them. Why not now? Why wait a moment longer? Why just sit around when you can do something? Go for it. Yeah.